Welcome to A Course in Business Miracles. This is Heather Dominick, creator of businessmiracles.com and founder and leader of the highly sensitive entrepreneur movement. Join me today for some genuine practical assistance and a business-altering and life-changing experience, a business miracle. This is A Course in Business Miracles, episode number 89, Superego Overprotection. It's important to be safe and secure, but highly sensitives who are not consciously leading their lives tend to protect themselves way beyond what is actually needed and reasonable. When you do this, you are diverting precious energy and time away from what you actually want to create in your life. This podcast helps you identify how shame looks and sounds when you are in the highly sensitive shadow of overprotection, so that you can begin to reclaim your energy, your time, and then be available to lead in your work and life. When we are in shame, the superego voice kicks in, and I'm going to talk more about that in a moment for those of you that's a new term. The superego voice. So the superego voice is basically that voice that you hear inside your head. It's the internalization of the HSE shadows of self-criticism and self-judgment. So it's the voice inside your head that's telling you you're stupid, you're wrong, you never should have done that, you won't be able to do it, what's wrong with you, you should have known better, I can't believe you even tried that, don't even think that you could talk to that prospect, who do you think you are to try to go networking, don't do it, you're terrible. That's the superego voice. So it's when the ego mind connects into those HSE shadows of self-criticism and self-judgment, but you start hearing it in your head. And so that's what has you tending to believe that it's valid or that it's real. And so again, that's connecting into the shadows of criticism and judgment. Now, what's also interesting here is that yes, the superego voice, but the shadows of criticism and judgment are not only for the self. So once we are in shame and we kick into the superego voice, this is where blame comes in big time. It is somebody else's fault. So we're either completely criticizing and judging ourselves, or we're criticizing and judging someone else as a way to try to convince ourselves that it's not us, right? That the shame is valid because it's somebody else's fault. What all of this is really the massive HSE shadow of overprotection. So when the shame hazard hits, or when the shame spot occurs, the superego voice, the criticism, the judgment of self or others is all an attempt to protect, right? So if we go back to the basic teachings of A Course in Miracles, it's not that the ego is bad. The ego and the ego mind are always trying to protect us. But the only form that the ego mind knows of protection is to stay small, otherwise known as to stay the same, right? Again, afraid of change. So this HSE shadow of overprotection is also another way of saying shame shields. And this term, shame shields, comes from a psychologist and researcher, Linda Haddingling, and the work done at the Stone Center at Wellesley College. And through their work, they've identified 3 primary shame shields. So again, the shame shields are a reaction from the moment when we've experienced shame. So they are the forms that overprotection take. And they've identified that there's 3 forms that shame shields take. Away, toward, and attack. So you feel the shame, the superego voice kicks in, criticism, judgment, and as a form of overprotection, you move into a shame shield of either moving toward, moving away, or attacking, moving into attack. So let's talk more about what that means and what that looks like, and especially for us HSEs. So to move away when you feel shame, let's say you are in a P2P conversation, having an HSE selling conversation, and the person that you're speaking to, the prospect, says something like, I can't work with you because your prices are ridiculous. This is outrageous. I can't believe you're charging this much. That's crazy. I mean, who can afford this? I mean, really, I can't believe that you think that you can charge this and say that you're in a spiritual business. And the shame kicks in, or however it shows up for you. The is me, right? So to move away, the shame shield would be, thank you very much. It's been so nice talking to you, and I hope you have a good life. Click, or maybe not even that. Or, I am so wanting to work with you, I will give you not just the service that you were looking at, but I will give you 3 of them for free. Or you just get off the phone and you don't have another P2P 4 weeks, 4 months, years. You move away. So in our language, that moves into both the HSE coping mechanism of hiding. The shame shield of moving away is connected to the coping mechanism of hiding. I will be so far hidden that this will never happen again. Also connected to, as I teach in the Money Mindset Training Intensive, connected to the entitled queen. The entitled queen who comes up with all of these righteous reasons that there's no way I will ever have a P2P conversation with someone who's from that town ever again. Right, Mary? Or anyone who has brown hair. Forget it. People with brown hair do not deserve to talk to me. My time is very precious. And we righteously rage and throw up shield after shield to hide and to move away. Or we have move toward. So the moment of shame happens and the shield is to move toward. And so what does that look like? And especially for those of us who are HSEs. Well, this is where the HSE shadow of people pleasing really comes in. And this shield is connected also in our HSE language to the scullery maid. So I have a memory. I don't remember how long after it took place from that conversation in the car, whether it was a day later, a week later, a month later, but not too long later. And living in this new house with this new woman and her 2 sons, this new family. And I don't remember exactly what precipitated this response from me, but I remember that I took little sticky notes and I wrote thank you on them, and I posted them all over the house for my stepmother. Moving toward. Like me, like me, like me. What can I do for you? What can I do for you to prove that I'm worthy, to prove that I'm likable, to prove that I'm lovable? And moving away and moving toward, both, you lose yourself. Deep breath in. And then the shame shield of attack, where you zing right back. So someone does something, and maybe it is directly shaming, but in most cases, as per the study with Linda Hartling from Stone Center at Wellesley College, most cases, it's not. The shame has been felt from something that someone else supposedly did. And what someone else supposedly did triggers the resistance and the cascading of emotions and into shame because you are associating it with another time in your life. And that goes for all shame shields. And that is something I hear about on CPC call after CPC call after CPC call after CPC call. But I went to this networking event and such said, I talked to this prospect and they did da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And all of the ways and the reasons that all of these people who are here to help you in your business have done you wrong. And 99% of the time, it has nothing to do with them and everything to do with you. The shame shield of attack is when you attack back. So again, whether someone actually did something to shame you, or maybe they were like, had green hair, and you're like, oh, green hair, trigger. And you attack, and you're insisting that this person has green hair to, confront you and personally affront you. And so you attack back, shaming the other person in response. Again, in our language, the shame shield of attack is connected to, from the money mindset training, the entitled queen. I'll annihilate you before you can annihilate me. Also, for us HSEs, the shame shield of attack does not show up only in the form of direct aggression. Typically, for those of us who are highly sensitive, it will show up more directly with those who are closest to us, and those who are beyond our closest sphere, it shows up passively. passive aggression. Deep breath in and let it out. All in an attempt to protect. All in an attempt to keep me from having to feel the hurt that I have felt before. All in an attempt to manage your highly sensitive nature, which you were never yet before now taught to manage. And what does this shoot of superego voice, criticism, judgment, overprotection, and shame shields bring us to? Right back to the shadows. And around. Stop. Bam. Stop. Bam. Stop. And that's the merry-go-round. And around and around and around we go. Deep breath in and let it out. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of A Course in Business Miracles. If you're ready to learn how to use your highly sensitive abilities to support you in being purposeful, profitable, and empowered rather than scattered, poor, and undervalued, take my free self-quiz to find out if you are indeed a highly sensitive entrepreneur. And if you are, along with your quiz results, you'll receive my free HSE Success Guide, which will teach you how to have your highly sensitive abilities working for you to create the results you desire in your business. Take the quiz and receive your free success guide now at www.hsequiz.com.